yeah, I'm listening. I feel the freedom inside. Come on, let's go for a ride. I finally opened my eyes and I can see it so clearly. So clearly. Life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Amazing. Whoa. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Sometimes we have what it takes, sometimes we make our mistakes, and now the journey awaits. So don't you wanna come with me? Come with me. We'll make our way to the top. We'll never break, never stop. And when we get to the spot, we'll know we made it there together. We'll remember forever that life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. Oh, I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. It's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Whoa, it's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Watch what happens now.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Elena. How are you?
I'm good. It's always that moment waiting. Am I going to see? There she is.
Well, I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, you too. I'm glad we were able to meet.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about our customer service professional program at Vancouver International College Career Campus. And with me on the screen, you can see our wonderful, extraordinary instructor and coordinator, Elena Lamoureux. And my name is Catherine. I'm the academic manager at VICCC. And we're going to go through some information today about the program and help you get to know the program a little better. So let's begin with the slides. And I'll share my screen.
Great.
Okay, can everyone see?
Yeah, looks good.
Great. Okay, so here you can see the name of the program, and you can also see Elena's contact and my contact if you have questions. You can also contact our marketing staff at info@vicccc.ca. If you have questions during the webinar, you can add them to the chat and we'll answer them at the end. Okay. So as you all know, Canada is going to reopen or has reopened its international borders to students. If your school is on the list, you can enter the country with your study permit. Elena, I'm curious, you've lived in different parts of Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's special about Vancouver for you?
Oh, I could talk forever. I'm from the very middle, the absolute middle of Canada, from a hometown city called Winnipeg, and it's very cold in the summer. Sorry, the summer. It's very cold in the winter, and it's pretty hot in the summer too. And people are so nice there, but it's not the best city. And the difference between Vancouver and my hometown is amazing. So here, every day, something interesting. You see somebody interesting on the street. You can have a conversation with someone that's from another part of the world. You can see some beautiful scenery. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And in a lot of parts of Canada, it's cold. It's cold in the winter, and you're really just in your jacket and you're not looking up and you don't want to talk to anyone because it's so cold. But here, it's even nice in the winter and you can chat with people. And if it's raining, who cares? You can still be outside. So the rain is just usually a really nice light rain.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on. Really,
It's a good place to live and work and study.
it is. It's totally ideal.
Okay.
And a great place to meet new people, make friends, lifelong friends. Yeah.
So talking back about our program, CSP, we have customer service professional and advanced customer service professional. So maybe, Elena, you can tell us a little bit, just a brief overview of the program.
Yeah, sure. So there are 7 courses, and to get your diploma, you need to take all 7 courses. And each course is 4 weeks long, and each course, of course, is very different. And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. But so you can either take all 7 courses and then stop, or you can actually take a co-op after and work. And everything that you learned in class, you can then try it out in the workplace. And that's kind of neat to have that Canadian experience, that English experience.
Yeah.
Students are always so scared, and then they feel pretty proud of themselves for doing it. And they make Canadian friends. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
You can see here the course is full-time. How many hours? So they're spending 20 hours per week.
That's right. So it's every day from Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So that means you have the afternoons free to hang out, to maybe take a nap, or to work, right? And so it's really nice. And if you want to stay and hang around the school a little bit later and do some studying on your own, that's okay too.
Yeah, great. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about each of the 7 courses, just briefly. I'll show a slide for each.
Sure. So what I like about each course is that they're all very different, but still connected to the customer service concept. And so the first one we've got on the screen here is the interpersonal skills and development. And this one is really about analyzing yourself and figuring out what your inner strengths are and your weaknesses. And it's amazing. People will say, I didn't know that about myself, and I never thought about it before. And I've had students that have even been in their 30s and say, this is the first time I analyzed what I'm like, and I figured out what I'm really good at, or maybe what I need to improve. So that's kind of pretty neat. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next is the very yummy food and beverage. And in this course, we learn all the language that someone needs to know to function in a restaurant or a cafe. And we do a lot of role play here and a lot of listening tasks and sometimes some eating too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, me too. I love when the students say, "Is it okay if I bring a cake?" Please, please bring a cake. Yes.
All of good safe, but yes.
And then let's see, we've got communications. And here we spend a lot of time focusing on how to stand up and give a formal presentation and all the things that we need to focus on, from our eyes to holding the paper so we're not holding our paper like this, all the little tricks to try to make ourselves look confident and eventually feel confident.
And your students after this course, they have those tools to bring into the workplace, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because no matter what job you're doing, pretty much you're always speaking to somebody. Could be a coworker, it could be a client, a customer that's just walked in, you've never met them before, and you need to be able to talk in so many different situations. And that's where this course or that particular course can help you.
Yeah, it's good for any kind of
Mhm.
industry as well.
Yeah, we've had engineers that really needed some practice with their people skills and their communicate needed to learn to communicate clearly. That's funny. I'm trying to say communicate clearly, but I couldn't say that clearly. Let me try that again. So people who are trying to improve their communication skills. So it doesn't matter what you are going to do in the future or what you have done in the past. It's all a good place to start
Great.
together.
And next is the hotel industry.
Yeah, so this is a really popular one. This is where we learn about how to check in someone, how to check them out, how to make a reservation, and all the language that comes with that. So when we do speaking activities in class, it's not just like learning English. We're learning the language you need to work in a hotel, or we're learning the language you need to handle a complaint. Yeah.
Yeah. And next we have career tools.
Yeah, so we're doing that one right now, actually, in our class. And by the end of it, my hope is that everyone will have a fantastic, strong professional resume and a cover letter, something that's really popular in English countries. And also, we're going to do a lot of interview practice. And again, this is one of those times where I've had people say to me, "Oh, before this course, I had an interview here in Vancouver and it was terrible." And then they had the course and then they felt better and they went in stronger and in some cases got the job. So that was nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just some practice goes a long way.
yeah, absolutely. And even when you're practicing, you're still nervous, but it gets better over time.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got tourism. And for tourism, because that industry is going to come back strong. When we have pushed ahead in the world, people will want to travel so badly. That's never going to go away. And so we're going to be ready with that. So we do a lot of practice for being a tour guide. How do you give a tour? How do you start it? How do you build one? What do you say to your guests? Everything. We're just working all those ins and outs of being a tour guide. And we also look at the history of tourism and stuff like that. So again, there's the speaking and teaching your classmates a little bit about the city, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
I enjoy seeing the students walking around and leading tours.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's good. We've had some really fun things. We've actually had we've had some tours where we were outside where we've had strangers join in our tours because they look so, oh, with everyone, oh, that looks good. So that's been pretty fun.
Another way to meet people in Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, leaders and motivation.
So leaders and motivation is one where you learn about how to motivate yourself and how to motivate other people too, and the strategies you can use. And a lot of ways we have learned to motivate people really don't work. You know, maybe when you're a kid, you're motivated to do something because you're worried, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. My mom is going to be so mad at me. And we learn ways that you can motivate your coworkers and you can motivate yourself and ways to take lead on leadership roles, even when we don't want to be a leader, because some of us just want to follow, but we still look at ways that where we can jump in small moments and lead.
Right. And maybe some students are interested, or some people watching are interested in admission requirements. Do I need a really expert level of English to take this class? You can see here, and maybe Elena, you can explain a bit just about where students are expected to be when they enter the class.
Right. So we're looking around an intermediate-ish kind of level. We don't expect your grammar to be perfect. That's crazy. But you stay in our class for a few months and you're going to notice that it will improve. So I've had students come in and their levels, they felt their levels were weak, and by the time they finished, they're working in a completely English environment and feeling really strong about it. So we're looking around the intermediate mark. So we're not asking you to put together really complex, complicated sentences.
Yeah, and when students apply, you can see here, they can already have an English score in TOEFL or TOEIC or IELTS, they can take our entrance exam, and also they will do an entrance interview with someone from our academic team. They'll talk. Right now we're doing interviews over Zoom, so you'll talk with someone. It's not a scary interview, it's a friendly conversation just to assess your English level.
That's great. We want to know a little bit about you, right?
Yeah. How you will fit. Some information about our tuition fees, and also students might want to know how much they can expect to earn. So right now we have until the end of December 2020, we have a special price. You can see here, 6,900 Canadian, including registration and material fees. And then Elena, for CSP students, when they're working and studying, how much can they work?
So when they are in the class time, when they're taking the academics, they can work up to 20 hours per week, which is pretty good. Which is pretty good because you're studying, you're working, it still gives you some time to have fun with your friends. And then once they finish the academics, if they're in the ACSP program, they can work 40 hours if they want. If they still would rather work less, then that can be okay too. But if you want to work full time for 7 months, you can do that for sure.
Yeah. So you can see here some kind of minimum amounts you might expect to earn.
This looks pretty good.
Yeah. If you're doing co-op, that's 40 hours. Like Elena said, if you want to work a little less, might be a little less. And of course, in customer service, you might be working in a cafe or restaurant. So I guess you might be able to earn tips as well, right, Elena?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big draw for a lot of the students. So getting the tips, that's how you really make that extra money. Yeah. No one wants to turn down tips.
No, they don't. Let's look at the next slide, talking about jobs. So we do support students. We have a coordinator to support our students while they're looking for and when they start working. Maybe, Elena, you can talk a little bit about that aspect.
Right. So when you're in class, like I said, you can work up to 20 hours per week. And it might be as simple as your friend finds the job for you or you see something, but often I walk to work and I look at every store window, and if I see a "we're hiring" sign, I will let you know.
And students with those jobs,
Yeah. And then, of course, as Catherine mentioned, the co-op coordinator will help you with that as well. They'll send out any alerts to any jobs that have popped up. And if you told the co-op coordinator, oh, I really want to work in this area or this specific field, they'll keep an eye on that for you. They'll notice, they'll look for those things to pop up for you and pass them along. And then once you do start your co-op, a lot of our students take our part-time job and then they make that their co-op.
Yeah.
That's what I would say the majority of students do. They usually like their part-time job enough that they want it to become their co-op. Sometimes they do decide, oh, for co-op, I want a different job, and that's okay too. Yeah, no problem.
And the co-op coordinator, if the students feel they need a little more practice with interviews or a little more help with their resume, tailoring it to a job, can they ask the co-op coordinator for that help as well?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Always there. The co-op coordinator is always there to help.
Yeah.
And that's part of their expertise as well with the resumes and the interviews. And if you want to learn how you should sit in your interview, you want to know exactly, you can't remember from my class what to do, then the co-op coordinator can give you all those little tricks.
And especially these days, doing interviews over Zoom, maybe.
Yeah.
The changing environment we're in right now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe one more question about this, Elena.
Yeah.
Can you give like some examples of where students have done their work placements?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much a variety of workplaces. So for students who have worked in hotels in Vancouver, they often started with the entry-level jobs. It's very common. And whether it be a valet parking cars, a door attendant, opening doors, and the tips, huge in a hotel.
A lot of nice cars in Vancouver too.
Pardon?
A lot of nice cars in Vancouver too.
Oh yeah, one student just graduated a few months ago. He used to always tell me, Elena, today I parked a Ferrari and all these great cars. Very motivating to do well in life.
Yeah.
And I've had some students work as minibar attendants where they went into each room and stocked up the mini bars. And then I've had students working in restaurants as servers, bussers, runners. So bussers taking away the dishes, runners bringing the food to the tables. I have a few students right now working as line cooks. So they have a few specific tasks that they have to do in the kitchen of big popular restaurants in Vancouver. And I've also had students working as sales associates in clothing stores and shoe stores and people in local cafes. So really every job has customer service in it. So I've had students work in moving companies as well. It's very hard, very physical, but again, good tips. Yeah.
Thank you, Elena. So that's everything we have here today about our CSP program. If you have questions, you can either add them in the chat, I'll check in a moment, or you can see our phone number and our email address here, info@viccc.ca. And of course, you can visit our website, vancouver.college. To check out our programs, this program and other programs we offer. I'll end the slideshow here.
I have a quick question for you, Catherine, before we go. What's your favorite favorite place in Vancouver?
My favorite place in Vancouver.
Yeah. But you can only pick one.
Okay, I will say Queen Elizabeth.
That's a pretty park.
You have a really nice view there, and there's also some really nice garden you can kind of tuck away with a nice book in the warmer weather.
Nice.
Walk around a bit. Yeah. How about you?
I like that as well, but I think my favorite spot is English Bay because it's the water and the mountains together. And when I look at it, I think Hawaii, it's great, but come on, English Bay. I love it there.
Yeah. Okay. That's number 2 for me. Yeah. So Elena, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some information about the program you organize and host and create.
My pleasure.
Your students really appreciate all that you do in class, and those of you who are watching, it's a great pleasure to work with Elena, and also her students really appreciate the help that she gives them in class. If you have questions, again, you can contact us. The information is also in the chat. And that's all for today.
Hi, welcome. Hi, I'm Elena, and I'm from VICCC, Vancouver International College Career Campus. And I'm here today to tell you some amazing resume tips that hopefully you can use. And these are tips that you can learn if you join our customer service professional course. You can learn resume tips, interview skills, cover letter information, and many other sorts of things. So if you're interested, come join us. So in the meantime, I'm going to share those resume tips that I promised, and we'll look through some bad resumes and a good resume and see what works and what doesn't work. So give me a moment here to share my screen with you. Okay. Give me one moment. Okay. Hopefully you can see what I've got shared with you here. Okay. And let me just do a double check. Okay, that's nice and good. Hopefully you can see that. So let's start. So resume tips, good and bad. Here we go. All right, starting off with the bad. So here's a resume that has quite a few things that are wrong with it. First of all, let's talk about the design. If you look here, it's kind of like a tree or a dress. And if I'm the reader, if I'm from a company, I'm not even going to read the words. I'm just going to notice the shape of the resume. So what you want to make sure is that you don't center everything. Don't put every section down the middle. Put your sections on the left side, running down. So education, work experience, put them on the left. All right, let's see what else we can learn. I've circled this part that says objectives. Now, a lot of people still write objectives on their resume, but it's actually a very old-fashioned thing. We have stopped doing it 5, 6, 7 years ago. And the reason is an objective tells the employer what you are looking for. But guess what? They don't really care. They are just concerned about what they want. They don't care that you're looking for this position, full-time, part-time. They just want to know what your skills, what your abilities are. So totally delete it. Throw objectives away. Don't include it. Okay, let's see what's next. So all of my little arrows are showing that we have some really tight spacing and everything looks like it's just squeezed together. We want to make sure that each section is separated, that there's some white space there, so it's easy for the reader to see what they're looking at. So design means a lot on a resume. All right, here's another resume. It looks a little better, but it's still not good. So let's check out why it's not so great. As you can see, they also wrote objectives. Now, at the end of their work experience, when they talk about each task that they did, each job, each duty, they put that little period at the end of the sentence. But here in a resume, we actually don't do that. We don't put a period at the end of our sentences in this section. So just leave it blank. And something else they did wrong. They talked about they assisted the director of accounting. They prepared biweekly payroll. Great. But you need to use bullets in front of each sentence so that the reader can see, oh, this is a sentence, this is another sentence, this is another sentence. It makes everything look so clear and easy to read because really the reader is going to spend a maximum of 10 seconds. Yeah, that's it. 10 seconds reading your resume. So really short time. So let's recap, let's review. So don't center your information. Don't include an objective, so old. Don't forget to add space between sections. We need to see some white paper. Don't end your work experience information with a period. Don't forget to use bullets, like I've done here, to highlight your work experience. Okay, so the good example, bum, here we go. So Ebony has a pretty good resume, and let's look at why. So right away, instead of an objective, she's given us a summary, and she's told us a little bit about herself. So she's telling us that she's an engineer. She's telling us that she's good at managing different systems and letting us know a little bit about herself. So this is where we can write about our skills, our qualities. We can say things like, I'm well organized. I'm a team player. I'm very prepared. I'm quick thinking. Those are the things we want to put here in the summary. It's at the top, so the reader is going to read it probably first. Okay, let's see what else is good here. Bullets. There we go. We can easily read each sentence that Ebony's written. Makes it so clear. Now also, when she uses her verbs, she's making sure to use the right verb. So when we start our sentence, for this situation, she's saying that she's currently, right now, working at this job. So her verbs like create are going to be simple present. So you're in the job right now, your verb is going to be present tense too. So create, manage, prepare, all of your simple present verbs. Now, if we're talking about a past job, as she's done here, you can see her job ended June 2016. So that job is over. So now she's taken her verbs and she's made them past tense too. So instead of write, she put wrote. Instead of manage, she put managed. So these, perfect. Great job, Ebony. Okay. So let's recap about the do's. We do want to include a summary about our work experience and or education. We do want to use bullets when describing our work experience. Makes it nice and clear. We do want to use simple present verbs when writing about current jobs. And we want to use simple past verbs when writing about previous jobs. So there you go. There's your do's and your don'ts. Hopefully that will help you make a perfect resume. And we would love to see you at our campus in Vancouver at VIC Customer Service Professional. So take care. See you later.